Welcome to Science Easy Tech channel, Nursing Made Easy. In this video, we are going to discuss about presentation of data in the form of graphs. Before moving on to the topic, if you are new to Science Easy Tech channel, just take a moment to subscribe our channel and also to press the notification bell icon in order to connect with our latest science subjects and nursing subjects. In my part 1 video, I have discussed about introduction and definition of statistics and biostatistics and application and uses of statistics and biostatistics in medical and nursing field and some common definitions of terms used in statistics. In my part 2 video, I have discussed about scales of measurement and common symbols used in statistics. In my part 3 video, I have discussed about sources and presentation of both qualitative data and quantitative data. So under that main thing, that is tabulation of data, is discussed in my part 3 video. And as a continuation to that, in my part 4 video, this video I am going to discuss about graphical presentation of data. If you have not watched my part 1, part 2 and part 3 videos, I have given the link in description box. Please go and watch it to have a continuity of series. Let's move on to the topic. Graphical presentation of quantitative data can be present in the form of histogram, frequency polygon, line graph, cumulative frequency curve or ogive, scatter or dot diagram. So quantitative data is otherwise called as continuous data. So this quantitative data can be presented in the form of histogram, frequency polygon, line graph, cumulative frequency curve, or it is otherwise called as ogive, scatter or dot diagram. Histogram. It is the most commonly used graph for grouped frequency distribution. So there are two types of distribution, that is ungrouped data frequency distribution and frequency distribution for grouped data. So this histogram is commonly used for grouped frequency distribution. On the x-axis, you have variable characters of different groups. Okay, you have variable characters of different groups. On the y-axis, you have number of observations. So frequency of each group, when you are drawing, when you are representing in a graph, it forms a rectangle or a column. Such a graph is called histogram. So let me make it more clear with the following example. Age in years, number of males. 10 to 15 years, 20 males. 15 to 20 years, 25 males. 20 to 25 years, 30 males. And 25 to 30 years, 15 males. 30 to 35 years, 10 males. And 35 to 40, it is 5 males. So, in the x-axis, you can write age in years. In the x-axis, you can write age in years. Whereas in the y-axis, frequency is there, no. So you can write number of males, that is the frequency. Okay, so if you are plotting it, so you will be getting this rectangular columns. The diagram is rectangular columns. So this diagram is called as histogram. Next is frequency polygon. Frequency polygon and histogram is more or less related. How it is related, I will explain. So it is the curve formed by joining the midpoints of the top of the rectangles in a histogram by means of straight line. So this gives a polygon. So let it be more clear by having a look into this example. See, you have to write the histogram. Already I have told how to draw a histogram. So in the histogram, in each rectangle, okay, you have to mark the center point. In each column of the rectangle, you have to mark the center point and you have to join the center point. So which has been clearly represented by means of blue color line. So this is called as frequency polygon. See, one more example I have given. So height in centimeter forms the x-axis and number of students forms the y-axis. So 140 to 150 centimeter, 75 students are there. 150 to 160 centimeter, 160 students are there, and 160 to 175 centimeter 135 students are there, and 170 to 180 centimeter 30 students are there. See, I have drawn a histogram first, then I have kept the midpoints, okay, and I have joined the midpoints. That black color curve is called as frequency polygon. Straight line I have drawn, no, and I have connected the midpoints, no, that is called as frequency polygon. Next, moving on to line graph. So line graph, it shows variations in the frequency polygon is represented by means of line. So this data is collected over a period of time. So this x-axis will be representing independent variable. Y-axis will be representing dependent variable. So in line graph, x-axis is for independent variable, y-axis is for dependent variable. See here, year, okay, October 2019, November 2019, December 2019, Jan 2020, like that till June 2020 they have given. So here the product sales in $1,000 USD. Okay, so what is the product sales? You have to, over a period of time, they have given the data. So you have to mark the points and you have to draw a line. So this is called as what graph? Line graph. So this is measured for a over a period of time. For example, year as well as population in million. In 1901, what is the census population in million? Or in 1911, what is the population million? Like that. Whenever they are taking census, you are updating the population, no, so that you can measure by means of a line graph. One more example for line graph, you can have a look into it. Next is cumulative frequency curve or ogive. So here it is nothing but very easy. So whatever the frequency they have given, you have to convert first into cumulative frequency. So first they will be giving the class interval, then they will be giving frequency, number of students or number of males or number of females, like that, no. So that frequencies you have to convert into cumulative frequency, and the cumulative frequency you have to plot the dots and you have to draw a graph. Let me explain with an example. See here in this cumulative frequency polygon graph, see, class interval they have given 20 to 25, frequency is 2. 25 to 30, the frequency is 6. 30 to 35, frequency is 9. 35 to 40, frequency is 12. 40 to 45, frequency is 14. 45 to 50, frequency is 10. 50 to 55, frequency is 8. Cumulative means addition. So first frequency 2, write as it is. Okay, first frequency plus second frequency, you have to add it. 2 plus 6, 8. That is the cumulative frequency for the second class interval. Then cumulative frequency 8 plus 9, 17. Okay, 17 plus 12, 29. 29 plus 14, 43. 43 plus 10, 53. 53 plus 8, 61. So you have to add it. Okay, so in this way you have to add it, and you have to draw a graph for 20 to 25. This cumulative frequency you have to point it and you have to draw. You should not draw for frequency, but you have to draw for cumulative frequency. So first and foremost thing is convert frequency into cumulative frequency. So here they have plotted the graph for 2, 8, 17, 29, 43, 53 and 61. Okay. Next is scatter diagram or dot diagram. This scatter diagram is very useful when you are studying the correlation between two variables, that is x and y. It is also called as correlational diagram. Okay, so this you will be using in correlation. So example for scatter diagrams which shows strong positive correlation, weak positive correlation, strong negative correlation, weak negative correlation, moderate negative correlation and no correlation. So this I will be explaining in detail when I am taking correlation video. Okay, in that video I will explain detail, but just now you have a look into it. In strong positive correlation, most of the observations will be lying in the middle of the graph. Whereas weak positive correlation, it is progressing in a positive direction, but the observations may not be exactly at the center. In strong negative correlation, so it will be moving in the opposite direction, okay, negative side, but lying more or less towards the dots will be pointed towards the center. Weak negative correlation, like a weak positive correlation, again the direction will be in the negative side. The same explanation is applicable to weak negative correlation also. Then moderate negative correlation, so more or less it is somewhat related, but you cannot tell it is very strong. And no correlation means the points will be scattered all over, okay, so it is called as no correlation. I will tell an example for a positive correlation. For example, if height increases, weight also increases. So this is an example for positive correlation. Okay, negative correlation, I will give one more example. Okay, if temperature, okay, if temperature decreases, the recovery rate will be more, okay. So the if temperature decreases, the recovery rate will be more. Okay, next we will move on to diagrammatic representation of qualitative data. So qualitative data, so quantitative data we have seen a histogram, frequency polygon, line graph, cumulative frequency curve and scatter or dot diagram. Similarly, for qualitative data you have bar diagram, pie or sector diagram, pictogram or picture diagram or picture graph, like that. Then a map diagram or spot map or cartogram. So first we will see bar diagram. So this bar diagram is again divided into simple bar diagram, multiple or proportionate bar diagram and compound bar diagram. So bar diagram is again divided into simple bar diagram, multiple or proportionate bar diagram and compound bar diagram. So it is a convenient graphical device to display both nominal or ordinal data. So by visual comparison, you can compare the magnitude of different frequencies. Either you can use vertical bar charts or you can use horizontal bar charts. So the bars can be either vertical or it can be horizontal. So this is a simple bar diagram representing the sales of fruits in kg. So apple 40 kg the sales is there, and banana it is 60 kg sales is there, that is around 59 kg sales is there. Grapes 30 kg sales is there, and oranges 50 kg sales is there, and pears it is around 25 kg sales. Okay, so here by having a look itself you can compare the thing, so which has an highest sale, which has a lowest sale, and you can give different colors for representing different items. Okay, next it's an example for horizontal bar diagram. The same thing can be previous graph what I have shown, that also can be depicted in the horizontal thing format. Next is multiple bar diagram or proportionate bar diagram. So two things you will be comparing at the same time. For example, here they have given years and imports and exports in a particular year. Okay, so here 1991, what is the import? So import is represented in yellow color and export is represented in pista green color. Okay, so at the same time you can have two things. For example, males, females, how many cases affected, so side by side you can put it. Okay, so this is multiple bar diagram or proportionate bar diagram. Next is compound bar diagram. In compound bar diagram, so you within the same bar you will be giving different colors. Okay, you will be giving different colors and you will be representing the same thing what has been for these two different groups. For example, here family A is represented in blue color and family B is represented in red color. So the family A, for how much they are spending for food, clothing, house rent, fuel and electricity, and for other miscellaneous items and all they have given. So here for family A, food they are spending 1800, means that is represented for 1800 you have to mark it, and it is represented in blue color. And above that you have to add 2200 because that is the expenses spent by family B for food. So in similar way you have to put for other variables also. Okay, so this is compound bar diagram. In the single bar itself multiple thing you will be explaining. Okay, next is pictogram. Okay, so what is pictogram means? It is picture diagram. It is picture diagram. So this pictogram is used to impress the frequency of the occurrence of events. So it uses pictures to represent the frequency of occurrence of events. See here, see a pictogram has been given, or it is called as picture diagram. So here one child is equal to 50 infant deaths per 1000 live births. So 50 infant deaths per 1000 live births. So in 1960, so how many per 1000 live births, how many children have died? Okay, how many infants have died? So 3 they have given. 50 plus 50 plus 50. 3 into 50 how much? 150. Whereas in 1980 only two picture they have given. So one picture represents 50. So two pictures means 2 into 50 it is 100. In 2002 only one picture has been given, that is 50 infant deaths per 1000 live births. Okay. So in this pictorial representation they will be representing. Next is pie or sector diagram. So this is pictorial representation of discrete data. So for discrete data you can use this pictorial representation. The whole area of the circle represents the entire data under consideration. So by having a visual glance itself you know what and all the percentage comes under what category. So the size of each angle is multiplied by class percentage with 360 degrees. So the total area of the circle we know that it is 360 degree. Okay. So size of each angle is multiplied by the class in percentage with 360 degree. So let me tell an example. See here, the percentage of student who obtain first class is 20%, second class is 56%, third class is 20%, failures is 4%. So when you are adding all these percentage, it should come to 100. Okay. So 20 plus 56 plus 20 plus 4, it is 100%. So approximate angle in degrees. So how you have to find the angle? 360 degree. Already I told 360 degree divided by, because it has been given in percentage, 20%. So divided by 100 into 20 is equal to 72 degree. Next for second class, 360 divided by 100 into 56 degree, which is equal to 201.6 degree. Then third class, 360 degree divided by 100 into 20, which is again 72 degree. Then for failures, it is only 4%. So 360 degree divided by 100 into 4 is equal to 14.4 degrees. In this way, you have to find out the area of the circle. Okay. Then again, you can give different colors. See here, for first class they have given one separate color, for second class one color, for third class one color, and for failures they have given color, so that easily you can understand. So and also you give the key, what color represents what. So here they have given the key, no, like that you have to give it. So one more thing, pie diagram or sector diagram showing population of countries of the European Union in 2007 by percentage. So different colors, red they have given for Germany, for France they have given a blue color, and the percentage also they have given clearly. So just have a look into it. Next, map or smart map or cartogram. So map or spot map or cartogram. So this shows geographical distribution of frequencies of characteristics. Let me show an example. So this is map diagram or spot map or cartogram representing incidence of fluorosis in different states of India. So here different colors they have given. So first purple color represents less than 30% of districts affected. Okay, so for 4 states like that. Yellow color again 30 to 50% districts affected. 8 states like that they have given. So each color they have given and they have represented in a map. Okay, so we have seen in today's class or today's video the graphical representation of quantitative data and qualitative data. Hope this video is clear for you all. If you have any doubts, please feel free to post your doubts in the comment section. My previous videos link I have given in description box. If you have not watched it, kindly go and watch it. And please give your valuable suggestions for my future videos. Thank you friends. Keep supporting to Science Easy Tech channel. My part 5 video will be on descriptive and inferential statistics. Once again, thank you friends.